Let Us Descend by Jesmyn Ward. Jesmyn Ward's Let Us Descend is a haunting, lyrical, and emotionally raw novel that takes readers deep into the heart of America's brutal past while centering the spiritual and emotional endurance of a single Black girl. The novel is both historical and metaphysical, grounded in the reality of American slavery, yet elevated by Ward's use of magical realism, myth, and poetic introspection. Told through the voice of Ennis, a teenage girl born into slavery, the novel captures her forced march from the Carolinas to a sugar plantation in Louisiana. Along the way, Annis reflects on her mother's strength, the voice she endured, and the voices, real and ancestral, that accompany her. The story is not linear in the traditional sense, but flows like memory and grief, moving between past, present, pain and vision, flesh and spirit. Ward's prose is dense, deliberate, and immersive. She doesn't sensationalize the horrors of slavery, but instead allows readers to sit with Annis's pain, loneliness, and moments of quiet resilience. Let Us Descend is not an easy read, but it is a necessary one and perhaps one of Ward's most ambitious literary achievements to date. I really think that this is a book that everyone should read. It is historical fiction, which seems like the theme I've been going for here lately. And I really enjoyed the connection that Annis and her mom had together, which I believe is how Annis was able to continue on with her forced march from the Carolinas to the sugar plantation. And even throughout the end, near the end of the book, she used her mom's spiritual guidance to help her through a lot of the tough events throughout the book. She had to listen, she had to meditate, she had to really just draw on all of that from her past. So the literary synopsis of this story is that, like I said earlier, it follows Annis, the daughter of an enslaved woman and a white man who owns her. After her mother is sold, Annis is eventually sold herself and forced on a long, grueling march from a Carolina slave market to a Louisiana sugar plantation. Along the way, Annis begins to commune with spirits, some ancestral, some imagined, some drawn from African cosmology and Catholic symbolism. These supernatural elements do not provide escape, but instead deepens her connection to her lineage, grief, and strength. As she endures physical torment and psychological isolation, Annis engages in internal dialogues with a spirit figure reminiscent of Beatrice in Dante's Divine Comedy, who guides her through a hellish descent of suffering, but also glimmers of insight and reclamation. I remember one event in the book when she was buried in a hole, and she used the guidance from Beatrice to get her through getting out of it and finally escaping. Through a blend of historical realism and spiritual narrative, Ward maps the interior life of a young girl who dares to retain a sense of self and agency in a world designed to destroy both. So my final thoughts on this. Let Us Descend is a novel of immersed depth, pain, and poetic power. It is about grief, survival, memory, and the invisible connections that sustain the human spirit in its darkest hours. Jesmyn Ward doesn't offer easy hope, but she does offer the truth and a form of grace born from enduring it. The book will resonate with you, who, like I said, it is literary fiction, and it does confront a lot of historical injustice, and those drawn to stories where the spiritual and emotional landscape is a rich and physical one. Again, it is a challenging read, but it is deeply rewarding, and I would definitely give it a 5 out of 5.